What is going on, everybody? It's the Franz. I'm here for a SmackDown review for February the 12th, 2021. As we are on the road to the Elimination Chamber, coming to you next Sunday from the Thunderdome. Now, tonight's show was advertised for the return of Seth Rollins, which we'll talk about that later and what's going on with him. And Roman Reigns is going to kick off the show with a blockbuster announcement about the Universal Championship. Now, the last time Roman Reigns kicked off the SmackDown, this episode of Raw SmackDown with a blockbuster announcement of retaining the Universal Championship, it was 2.5 years ago when he had to relinquish the Universal title because of leukemia. I didn't think it was going to go down that route whatsoever. It could have been one of those things where it's like, oh shit, Roman's probably gotten injured and he has to vacate the title again. Thankfully, that wasn't it either. So, he comes out and we're wondering what's going to happen with the Elimination Chamber. We know Drew McIntyre is defending his title. Will Roman do the same? Now, Adam Pearce was in the ring when Jay, Roman, and Paul Heyman all come out. And the gist of it is, Adam Pearce is like, you're going to defend the title inside the Elimination Chamber. I have had this contract for a week, but Heyman wanted to do this in front of everybody. Heyman takes the mic and says, that's not going to happen. Roman Reigns, well, first off, Roman is pissed because Edge pretty much said on Monday he's not deciding who's going to be who he's challenging for until after the Elimination Chamber, the same thing he did 10 years ago. Or the last time he won the Rumble, was it 10 years ago? Or 11 years ago, whatever. So, he's pissed about that, and he wants to know what the fuck's going on with the Elimination Chamber. And Adam Pearce says you'll defend it inside the chamber. Heyman's like, that ain't happening. See, the contract says that Roman Reigns has to defend his title at the Elimination Chamber, but doesn't have to do it inside the Elimination Chamber. So, the gist of it is going to be is that Roman Reigns will defend his title at the Elimination Chamber against the winner of the SmackDown Men's Elimination Chamber right away. Apparently, once the match is over, Roman will come down, pick the bones, and have to defend his title. Now, unlike Monday Night Raw, where it was 5 former world champions going up against Drew McIntyre, Adam Pearce is like, well, we have to do some qualifying matches, but I know two guys who do not need to qualify. The first is a man who took Roman Reigns to the limit, and his name is Jey Uso. Okay, that's fine. And then Adam Pearce, like a smart person, gets out of the ring and says the second guy is Kevin Owens. Immediately, Roman Reigns is pissed off, hands the title to Paul Heyman, walks out of the ring and gets in front of him, and just gets into his face. Pretty much, Adam Pearce putting the screws to Roman Reigns out of spite, giving Kevin Owens another opportunity, even though Kevin Owens lost 3 matches and lost the last one pretty clean. Reigns exits the ring and gets in Pearce's face at ringside. He doesn't care about anyone right now but Pearce. He sees in Pearce's face. Heyman comes over and tries to get him to back away, and Uso also comes out and stands behind him. Reigns and Uso stare Pearce down as Heyman gets him to back off. To clarify, Roman will defend his title against the winner at the Chamber after the match is over. Which, again, I think is pretty fucking stupid. I know Roman Reigns, there's not a chance in hell Roman Reigns is losing the Universal title less than 2 months away from WrestleMania. It's just not going to happen. But to have him not have to defend the title, I can understand not defending the title. I would have been fine if they would have said, well, Roman Reigns will face the winner of the Elimination Chamber at the Fastlane pay-per-view, and the winner of that will go on to face whoever. Basically, this is what should have happened, and this pisses me off that they're doing it this way, and they're allowing Edge to do what he did 10 years ago, 11 years ago, whenever he won the Rumble last time, is that he's waiting till after the Elimination Chamber. The Elimination Chamber should be one champion defends to see who if Edge was to pick Drew McIntyre, fine. Drew McIntyre defends his title in the Chamber, as he is right now, and the winner goes on to face Edge at WrestleMania. The other Elimination Chamber should be the winner of that match goes on to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. The fact that you're having this match right after just makes this Elimination Chamber absolutely worthless. Oh, he won the chamber match. He's going to get killed by Roman Reigns. I don't get why they're booking this like this. Roman Reigns defends it in the chamber, and Adam Pearce needs to get a spine and tell him, it's like, you either defend it in the chamber or you have to vacate the title. And that's not coming from me. That's coming from the man upstairs. But no, he just backs off like a scalded dog, and Roman Reigns just gets to do whatever the fuck he wants. I'm sorry, but no. Roman Reigns as a heel is great, but this was fucking bullshit. There is absolutely no reason to have this Elimination Chamber for the winner to pretty much have their shot right then and right there, and to lose to Roman Reigns in probably like 10 seconds. Pathetic. Just stupid booking. Elimination Chamber qualifier as Adam Pearce gets backstage. Sonya Deville stops him and comes up with an idea that, well, we have to have 4 spots filled. How about we fill 2 of those spots with a tag team match with Rey and Dominic Mysterio versus Sami Zayn and Baron Corbin? Adam Pearce is like, fine, that's great. Which, if they want to put Adam Pearce just on Raw and make Sonya Deville the SmackDown general manager, which is pretty much what they're being, well, Sonya's just being on SmackDown, then fine. Just give them the titles. Sonya's SmackDown GM and Adam Pearce's Raw GM, so we can get that title finally official on them. So we come to the ring. Rey and Dominic go out first, go on the commercial break, come back, and out comes the other two. Sami Zayn, who has his documented crew, Sami starts ranting about having to earn a title shot and having to team up with Corbin for this match. No disrespect, Sami finishes ran upon the apron and gets knocked down by the Mysterios. So, the story we're seeing right now, with the Mysterios right now is that Dominic is in over his head as a fresh, young, rookie year still WWE superstar. His rookie year will end, of course, at SummerSlam when he made his debut. But he's in his first year in WWE. He's not been in the business that long. And his father and him are not really seeing eye to eye on everything. He wants to do things his way. Rey wants him to do things the way that Rey Mysterio feels he should. And things are, like, not looking up for them. Which, by the way, rumor and innuendo is that this feud with Baron Corbin was a replacement for Murphy, Steve Cutler, and Wesley Blake being a heel team to take on the Mysterio family. I don't know why. The last time we saw Murphy, he was the boyfriend of Aaliyah, and he had the respect of the Mysterios. How they were going to turn that around and make him an enemy of these guys is beyond me. Where the fuck is Aaliyah? Where the hell has she been? She's been MIA in WWE for weeks, and I don't know why. It's funny because it went from Vince McMahon sees Aaliyah as the next big star of the women's division to off the face of the earth. I don't know. Maybe they had Aaliyah go to the Performance Center to train to become a professional wrestler. Maybe that's why they dropped it, because they want her to wrestle, and she probably has no wrestling skills, wrestling experience right now. So maybe that's where that's going. Who knows? But yeah. This match goes about maybe 5 minutes, maybe. Dominic with a swinging neckbreaker for a 2 count. Nice little shot right there on Sami Zayn. Back and forth between the two teams for a few minutes. Corbin knocks Rey off the apron, but Dominic locks the end of days. Rey and Dominic end up hitting the double 619. Sami comes in with a big explosive suplex to Dominic. Follows up with the big haluva kick. 1, 2, 3. Corbin and Sami Zayn are your winners, with Dominic taking the pinfall, as he should have. They are building this up, and I swear this is where it's going, is that by the time we get to WrestleMania, either one or two things are going to happen with the Mysterios. One, Rey Mysterio and Dominic are coming to a mutual agreement that Rey wants to have Dominic have his first big WrestleMania moment against his dad, and so it's going to be Rey versus Dominic at WrestleMania, or Dominic is going to get frustrated and fed up with his dad trying to hold his hand through his career. He is a 20-some-year-old man. He needs to do things for himself. He'll turn on his father, and we'll get Rey versus Dominic at WrestleMania. If Dominic wins, Rey Mysterio can possibly retire from professional wrestling. That's the thought right there. The retirement part probably won't happen, but Rey Mysterio versus Dominic is where I feel they're going for WrestleMania. I'm going to keep saying it until I'm proven wrong. So, after that, Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce are backstage. They're talking. In come the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. They want to be in the Chamber match. And Adam Pearce and Deville say, well, you can earn your spot by taking on the team of Cesaro and Daniel Bryan. So apparently, Daniel Bryan and Cesaro are buddy-buddy now after Cesaro beat Daniel Bryan 2 times over the last 4 weeks. Which is fine. Daniel Bryan and Cesaro would be one hell of a tag team. And apparently, both Cesaro and Nakamura are now babyfaces. Why? For the hell of it. But I guess they split that tag team up too. We go back to the ring and out comes Intercontinental Champion Big E. We go to a break. We come back to see, we see what happened with Bianca Belair, Reginald, Carmella, and Sasha Banks last week. Reginald comes up to Sasha Banks, who's talking with Kalisto, offering her a glass of champagne. He apologizes to Banks for what happened and says he'll never drop the ball again. Banks asks if he really meant what he said when she could beat Carmella. He says, of course I do, no doubt about it. She laughs about it, sends Carmella her regards. Reginald walks up but stops to look back at Banks and Kalisto with a big smile as she sips some champagne. Which, honestly, I thought it meant that he was going to spike the champagne. The champagne was spiked, but no, it wasn't. They didn't do anything because we do see Sasha Banks later, and she's absolutely fine. We get a progressive match flow with Big E retaining his title over Apollo Crews and Sami Zayn last week. He's in the ring, and he talks about retaining his title against the Odds last week, and how he declared that he would be a fighting champion when he won the title. He's ready to issue an open challenge, but out comes Apollo Crews. And Crews is like, well, I know what you're going to do. You're going to come out here. You're going to offer an open challenge to anybody. And since I took you to the limit so many times, I don't see anyone better than me. So I accept your challenge. And Big E's like, wait a minute, boy. I'm going to give an open challenge. It could be Michael Cole. It could be this stagehand. It could be the janitor. It could be anybody in this room, this arena tonight, except for you. Apollo Crews takes offense to this. Big E off the mic. We can still hear it because there is no real crowd. That Big E's like, dude, I beat you. You got another opportunity. I beat you again. You got an opportunity last week. I beat you again. Go back to catering. We are done. Apollo, of course, takes the catering slight a little bit too much because Apollo Crews has worked so hard to get where he is at in WWE right now, and that's a low blow to him and that's what it is. Big E's like, send out my next challenger, and out comes former Intercontinental Champion himself, the man this version of the title was gifted to when he was Intercontinental Champion, Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, when Apollo Crews was coming out, you have the SmackDown graphic cards, which is on the side instead of just their name and has the facts on them. And on one of his slides, it says Apollo Crews has been in WWE for over 5 years. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, damn, how sad is that? The two biggest accomplishments in Apollo Crews' history in WWE was that he spent very little time in NXT, made it to the main roster, and had a very forgettable 90-some day U.S. title reign that I actually had to look up because I forgot that he held the U.S. title for a few months. Other than that, Apollo Crews has done nothing in WWE. 5 years, one title reign that nobody is going to remember unless you look it up. Is it his fault? No. Guarantee this guy is going to come to work every single week, every single place they want him to go, and busted his ass. And Vince McMahon saw nothing in him. So, Apollo Crews the catering dig on him probably was very offensive because of everything he's had to go through just to get where he's at right now. Remember when he was supposed to be the WWE's human highlight reel and that died real fast? Or he was part of Titus Worldwide, and that went nowhere, and that didn't do shit for him. And here he is, winning the Intercontinental title, which, good for him, he should be fighting, should be arguing. But the guy got beat 3 times. The first time he lost, understand giving him another title shot because of the dusty finish in the first match. Then he lost the second match clean. Then he lost last week. So he doesn't get any more title shots. So we come back to commercial break, and this match is already in progress. And it's a hard-hitting match. These guys just go out there and don't hold anything back. Apollo Crews is cheering on Shinsuke. He wants Shinsuke to beat this guy up and take the title, so maybe Shinsuke will give him a title shot. But Big E, or Nakamura waits for Big E to get up. Big E blocks the Kinshasa and tangle up, and Nakamura nails a kick. Nakamura goes for the Kinshasa again, but Big E plants him with a Uranagi for a close 2 count. He rallies up, goes for the big ending. Nakamura slides right out, and Apollo Crews runs in, drops him with a drop kick. The referee calls for the match, and Big E wins by disqualification. Apparently, Apollo Crews says something about going back to catering, which, again, definitely probably a very offensive term for him. And he walks off with a big evil grin on his face while Big E recovers, and so does Nakamura. So, honestly, this is going to probably lead to another triple threat match at the pay-per-view, maybe. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Big E versus Apollo Crews. Or just Apollo Crews versus Big E for the 4th time, in which Big E should beat him again. Apollo Crews has had his opportunities and has lost and lost and lost. Nakamura got a shot. Nakamura should have had a clean finish. Win, lose, or draw. But no, we have to bring out Apollo Crews to make it. To keep Apollo Crews out there, seething during the entire match. And then in the end, costing Shinsuke Nakamura a victory. We go to a promo with Seth Rollins return on SmackDown. And then everybody is coming to the ring. Including a recently missing for the last 3 months, Buddy Murphy. He was walking to the ring with, looks like a stagehand. He literally was wearing black sweatpants and a black t-shirt as if he is a guy working on the ring or working in the back as a stagehand. So that's, I guess, a way to come back, even though I think that's all he's going to do. Seth Rollins returns. We go to the ring. And he comes out to burn it down, which is great. He does have a new graphic that says "Follow the Vision" on his Tron, which Burn It Down coming back was very welcoming from the social media audience for sure. Everyone was happy to hear that theme again. He's dropped the Messiah gimmick, which honestly ran its course 9 months ago. He just took a gimmick that was working until the pandemic hit and everybody got injured or all this other shit. And it just kept dragging along. The whole Rey Mysterio feud was majority of last year. I think they went 6 months on that feud and it just would never fucking die. Never die. And then he sacrificed himself and that was that. So he comes in, he says, it feels good to be back, it feels good, real right, it feels right to be here, this is my home. Says a lot has changed since he sacrificed himself in the Survivor Series, and he would know it, but what has changed the most has been a surprise. What has changed the most is him. Says, as most of you know, he recently became a parent for the first time. He's a proud father of a beautiful, perfect baby girl who's changed his life in ways he never dreamed of. I'm not a parent. I wish I could be one, but we're not going to go there. But yes, I've always heard stories about you being a parent could changes people's lives all the time. Sometimes for good, sometimes for the worse. I mean, you have somebody who says they want to be a parent and then they just run away because they feel like they can't handle it, or it's like they are a party boy or a party girl, they get pregnant or they're the parent or it's the future parent and they clean themselves up and become a better person in the end. Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, of course, are going to be probably 2 great parents. I'm not going to judge them on that because I don't know them personally, but she gave him a new perception, and the new perception has given him a new vision. Says he looks around the ring and sees some of the most talented individuals in WWE in the history of this industry. He looks at SmackDown and wonders where he fits in, but after a lot of self-reflection, the answer became very clear to him. He is the great leader that SmackDown needs to push it into the future and make it greater than it already is, because success and leadership is not what you can do for me. It's about what I can do for you. Of course, all of the talent is down. The lights are dim, so we only see, like, Seth Rollins really probably can't see anybody around him. Everybody starts leaving. Everybody's gone. They're leaving. And like, wasted our time. Had us come out here to listen to this guy, and they wasted our time. He continues to ranting about how he could lead, say it's for a better tomorrow and a better SmackDown. All you have to do is embrace the vision. Rollins looks around at how everyone has left him. The lights come up, everybody's gone, except Cesaro, who is looking skeptical at ringside. Rollins says he knew Cesaro would get it. He knew Cesaro would understand. I love all the people. Cesaro just shakes his head, no, and then starts to leave. This pisses and enrages Seth Rollins. He runs out while Cesaro is heading back up the ramp, clips him in the knee, drops him to the ramp by taking his knee out, beats the fuck out of him, and just starts yelling at him, saying, "You're never going to be able to feel out your full potential without me," and just starts yelling at him more and more, and out comes Daniel Bryan to run him off, forcing him to retreat to the ring. Bryan checks on Cesaro. Rollins looks on, smirking. Rollins' music hits as he continues to stare over Cesaro and Bryan. So, it looks like we're going to have a Daniel Bryan-Seth Rollins feud, possibly. Maybe Cesaro. Like, Cesaro should be in the running for a nice singles match at WrestleMania against a big name like a Seth Rollins versus Cesaro at WrestleMania. Tyler Black versus Claudio Castagnoli. I think that would be fucking fantastic. Let those two go out there. Seth Rollins versus Daniel Bryan. Bryan Danielson versus Tyler Black. Fucking should be great. All I know is it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. So, yeah. The new vision, I don't know where it's going to go. I find it interesting that they had almost everybody with Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, and I think that was it, were down there. So, yeah. Even Sonya Deville was down there for some reason, even though she's being a pseudo-general manager at this time. That was just weird. So, we come back to Bayley coming to the ring. As we know, she took on Ruby Riott last week, and of course Liv Morgan and Billie Kay cost Ruby Riott the match. So why not take on the other member of the Riott Squad, Liv Morgan? Of course, we see right before the match what happened last week with Liv Morgan, with Ruby Riott getting screwed out of her match. Bayley has a big chuckle about this. Liv Morgan drops her with a dropkick immediately. They have themselves a match. It goes for a bit. We do see Tamina and Natalya watching backstage for whatever reason. So, they're having a match, and Liv Morgan's doing a hell of a job against Bayley. When Billie Kay comes out to talk to Ruby Riott, she's like, I just want to apologize for last week. Ruby Riott wants nothing to do with this. She wants nothing to do with Billie Kay. Billie Kay has all these resumes. Ruby Riott just grabs him and tosses him backwards. One ends up going into the ring. The referee sees it, goes to grab it and take it away. At this time, Liv Morgan, it goes after Bayley. Bayley scratches her face, hits the rose plant. 1, 2, 3. And that is that. So, Billie Kay, again, is a catalyst in costing a member of the Riott Squad. Here's a good idea. Have Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan 2-on-1 against Billie Kay, beat the piss out of her, put her on main event, and get her off national television. She ruins the fucking show. I was enjoying SmackDown for the most part until Billie Kay came on, because she ruins everything. The Women's Tag Team Championships, Peyton Royce and Billie Kay killed those titles. Here you are now, where she's killing any momentum that the Riott Squad had. What is this going to lead to? I don't know, and honestly, I really don't care. Get her off my fucking television. Kayla backstage with Cesaro and Brandon Bryan. He says Seth Rollins wasted everyone's time earlier tonight, but he will not waste his own time despite what happened out there with Rollins. Cesaro is able to compete and will qualify for the Elimination Chamber with Bryan. Cesaro walks off, points out to Kayla how tough Cesaro is. Street Profits versus Otis and Chad Gable. This was a really fun match. Before the match, we see that Otis and Chad Gable are working on a new move, a discus lariat into a German suplex. Now, I want to know this, and someone give me a logical answer. Otis and Tucker broke up at Hell in a Cell and at the draft. They sent Tucker to Raw. Otis stayed on SmackDown. They broke up Heavy Machinery. They even had Tucker turn on Otis at Hell in a Cell. They couldn't even do a match because one's on Raw, one's on SmackDown. So that feud went nowhere. They didn't even get the chance to have a feud. But what was the fucking point of breaking up Heavy Machinery, a team that had chemistry, they worked well together, they've been a team for years, to put Otis and Chad Gable into a tag team? I just don't fucking get it. What was the point of this? I just don't get it. They did this with Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. Peyton Royce is now mostly teaming with Lacey Evans. Why break up a tag team to build another tag team? The only reason you would break up a tag team, but you want to see this person in a tag team setting, is if one of these men or women are, if the men and women don't get along together. But in the case of Heavy Machinery and the Moronics, both of them had great chemistry together for what they were. They've been friends for a good while. In case of the Moronics, they were friends for years, since school. So why are you going to break these teams up just to put them in other tag teams? I don't get it. Where the fuck's Tucker been? We haven't seen him in months. But yeah, I don't get why you're putting Otis and Chad Gable into the match. Now, they've been working well together. And the only positive I can see out of this so far is that they got fucking Otis back into a singlet and not what he was wearing before, where his entire stomach was exposed because Vince McMahon's like, oh, look at that guy's belly juggle as he wrestled. That's the funniest shit I've seen all day. Yeah. Back to breaking out Chad Gable and Otis. We see what happened with them in the Alpha Academy earlier. So, this was a really good match. Street Profits, of course, they won a tag team rematch for the tag team titles because they lost the titles, and they feel like they never got their tag team match. Tag team rematch, of course, they asked Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville said when Montez Ford is healthy and cleared, we can get back into the talk of that. Now, Montez Ford looked great in this match. He has future star written all over him. He's got the mic skills, he's got the in-ring work, he's got the stage presence. Because eventually it's inevitable. The Street Profits will be broken up one of these days. Obviously, the man who's going to turn heel is going to be Angelo Dawkins. I just don't see Montez Ford being a heel ever. But Dawkins I could see being a heel. Now, the undoing of Otis and Chad Gable was they tried to go for the new finisher. Otis tagged in Chad Gable. They wanted to do the discus lariat into the German suplex. Otis goes for the goes to bounce off the ropes, but Montez Ford pulls the ropes down. He falls out. We get a cash out. Huge high flying frog splash. 1, 2, 3, and that is that. After the match, the Profits celebrate. We go to commercial. The Profits head up the ramp, but stop the stage for the music. Out comes Sasha Banks. They have themselves a little dance break, and then that is that as they leave, and she goes to the ring. So, back in the ring we go. Sasha Banks is here wrapping up her entrance, says everyone is talking about Bianca Belair. It's a big decision because we're on the road to WrestleMania. Banks likes Belair a lot because she's like a little sister. Banks says there's just one decision to Belair to make, and it's that's her. Out comes Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair sees Banks had heard her. She likes her too. She enters the ring and says no, Banks is not the boss of her. Says it's her time and she's enjoying every second of it. And everyone is talking about her WrestleMania decision. Out comes, for whatever fucking reason, and this pissed me the fuck off, the women's tag team champions. They come out, they talk trash. And then we have Sasha Banks and Belair is like, well, we figured you might show up tonight, so we came prepared, and says, roll the footage, and we see Naomi beating Shayna Baszler. They laugh, and Banks says, that's not the footage I was talking about. It was, and Nia Jax is like, don't you dare. And then Bianca Belair is like, roll it. And you could hear that Michael Cole was like, oh, is this what I think it is? Oh, it is. Yes. WWE on Monday was so embarrassed by Nia Jax saying, oh, my butt, my hole, that they erased it from the Hulu version and cut it off of YouTube. But we come to tonight, they show her missing the leg drop. They cut out the my butt part, but we hear her say my hole before she gets thrown into a ring, into the table where she lost. Banks and Belair are back in the thing. They they're laughing. Jax isn't happy. A brawl breaks out. Jax gets taken out to the floor. Sasha Banks is trying to powerbomb her, but then they're like, oh wait, let's do this. They grab Banks and Belair, strip her, so she falls on her ass again, trying to get her to say my hole again. Shayna Baszler then gets double teamed as Jax clutches her backside. Baszler stumbles to check on Jax as Banks and Belair dance together in the ring. So let me get this straight. WWE was appalled and embarrassed that they had to even do Lana versus Nia Jax. And Nia Jax going out there and going, oh, my butts, my hole. That they cut it off of YouTube. They cut it off of Hulu. They didn't find it funny then, but a couple days later on SmackDown, they're playing it up, and they wanted Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair to get her to say it again, even though she didn't. She bit her tongue, but still, that's an image of her possibly saying my hole, which nobody found funny. It was an embarrassment on Monday. It was an embarrassment tonight. What the fuck is wrong with this company? This is what happens when you book and you have a 75-year-old senile old fucker in the position that he is. Vince McMahon needs to go because of stupid shit like this. This was not necessary. Obviously it's going to probably be Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks versus the Women's Tag Team Champions at Elimination Chamber. Why else would you bring the Tag Team Champions out here? Yes, they can go to Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, even NXT UK if it wasn't for the lockdowns. But why bring them out here other than to embarrass Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler? Embarrass Nia Jax all you want, but Shayna Baszler deserves better than that. Sorry, it's just, no, she deserves better. But it's, again, not funny on Monday. Vince McMahon finds it fucking hilarious on Friday. That's the problem. This is the problem with WWE. Vince McMahon just is too much of an immature piece of shit. It's not 1965, Vince. It's 2021. Grow the fuck up. So we go to the main event. Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler versus Daniel Bryan and Cesaro. This was a good fucking main event. This was awesome. 4 down-hearted, good professional wrestlers going out there and showing you why they are 4 elite wrestlers, elite talent. Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, of course, all your tag team champions. Daniel Bryan and Cesaro are just teaming up after mutual respect gained last week, apparently. So, again, Cesaro, babyface now. Daniel Bryan, of course, is a babyface. Really missed that heel run of his. That was a very awesome run. But, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens coming out of this. So, Dolph Ziggler and Roode are having the advantage. Out comes Zayn and Corbin because they're in the chamber already. They made their qualifications earlier. Of course, we see Universal Champion Roman Reigns watching backstage. And I'm going to say it, I am jealous. That chair he was sitting in, it was probably not a very comfortable chair, but it looks fucking nice. I want one of those just for the hell of it. Ziggler comes back in and hits the big boot on onto double team, and Ziggler covers for 2. Cesaro finally gets the tag in. He levels Ziggler and knocks Roode off the apron. Runs wide on Ziggler as the fake fans cheer. Cesaro with the running uppercut from corner to corner, stopping and knock Roode back on the floor. Cesaro with a big uppercut to Ziggler for another close 2 count, while Sami Zayn and Corbin watch closely. Roode stops Cesaro from swinging Ziggler, Bryan with a running knee. Ziggler with a famous serve to Cesaro for a close 2 count. Cesaro catches a super kick and does the torture rack with a knee to the back of Ziggler. And I have a problem with this torture rack backbreaker because he dropped him on his supposed injured knee. Cesaro with a swing on Ziggler puts him into the sharpshooter and Ziggler taps out. Great to see somebody using the sharpshooter and making it actually feel like it fucking matters. So, I'm sorry, Natalya I don't buy her with the sharpshooter, but Cesaro is making the sharpshooter cool again. After the match, Cesaro and Daniel Bryan stand tall when they earn the final 2 Elimination Chamber spots. Zayn, Corbin, Jey Uso, and Kevin Owens. They immediately turn their attention to Sami and Corbin at ringside, waiting to fight. However, Uso comes and cracks Cesaro in the back with a steel chair. Daniel Bryan is brought out of the ring by Corbin and Sami Zayn. They beat him up. They go into the ring. They start beating up on Cesaro and Jey Uso. Then Sami Zayn turns on Corbin, gets laid out, and then in comes Kevin Owens and if you ever saw the open window meme of you get this, you get that, we had the you get a stunner, you get a stunner, you get a stunner, you're all getting stunners as he puts a stunner on pretty much everybody. Then he grabs a chair, takes a seat, and speaks to the camera and tells Reigns he's coming for him, they're not done, and he's not going anywhere. He will see Reigns soon, continue staring into the camera as SmackDown goes off the air. Now, this was a good fun entrance end to the show. They didn't have to do both qualifying matches this week. They could have did it next week, but I have a feeling what they're going to do is gauntlet match where the final entrance, it's for the winner who becomes the final entrant in the Elimination Chamber. And honestly, I think that's just lazy because they've been doing that every single year, it seems now, since 2017. And it's just lazy carbon copy booking. Now, I am going to give WWE some props for the fact that, unlike Monday, they actually had most of the people qualify. 2 tag team matches, fine. You want to give people tag team opportunities? I am fine with that. But at least, it's I still don't like the fact that the winner of this Elimination Chamber has to face Roman Reigns, apparently, right after the match is over. How did that work out for John Cena in 2006? Or, I believe, John Cena in 2010. Wasn't it? Yeah, 2010. When Batista got his title shot, Edge in 2006. So I don't see the point of this. Yes, Roman Reigns is not losing the title till well after WrestleMania, I hope. But don't make it so fucking obvious that Roman Reigns is going to beat the person at the Elimination Chamber. Roman Reigns is going to be fresh as a daisy, the winner of the Elimination Chamber. I'll have my predictions on that next Friday. But yeah, I don't like it. I don't like the way they're doing that. Bad booking by WWE. But that is your SmackDown review. Pretty good show this week. Definitely beats anything Monday Night Raw's been doing. I mean, 2 great tag team matches. Big E vs. Nakamura was great until Apollo Crews got involved. The only big downpoints are the women's match with Bayley and Liv Morgan. That's sad because those 2 could give you one hell of a match because Billie Kay ruins everything. And there was absolutely no fucking reason to bring the women's tag team champions to SmackDown. Apparently, I'm just going to speculate that that's probably going to be your match at the Elimination Chamber for those 4 women. And then maybe Bianca Belair makes her choice afterwards. But this is just WWE wanting to embarrass Nia Jax for what she did on Monday. So they're just going to do it again because Vince McMahon has to have his laughs. Before Vince McMahon takes his pills to go to bed, he has to make sure he has some kind of bullshit comedy on his show. You can do comedy in wrestling. It's a quintessential part of wrestling. But that ain't it, Chief. That ain't it. But hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Minds at the France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/the France Club. And find me on Instagram at the France Club. And I'll see you guys on Monday for Raw. I'm skipping Vengeance Day because I really haven't watched anything for NXT in a good while. But until then, my name is the France, and I'll see you guys later.